Have you ever looked at a children's book and wondered, what's the secret? What makes this one the book that every kid wants? Well, today we're going to decode a phenomenon. We're going to pull back the curtain on the formula that turned a simple story into an absolute bestseller. So, here's the big question we're tackling. How does this totally charming book, How to Catch a Reindeer, become this, a #1 New York Times best-selling series? What is that secret sauce? Well, let's dive in and break it down. To really get the magic here, we first have to appreciate the scale of it all. This isn't just one lucky book that hit it big. Nope. This is a carefully built empire, and it's all based on some pretty impressive numbers. And the numbers, well, they tell a pretty incredible story. This isn't a one-hit wonder. It's part of a 35-book series. And just this one book has over 2,300 reviews on Amazon and a nearly perfect 4.8-star rating. That proves this formula isn't just a success. It's something they can repeat over and over and over. And that repeatability? It all starts with a simple yet brilliant core idea. You know, every great franchise, whether it's a movie or a book series, has a concept that's super engaging, easy to get, and most importantly, really easy to adapt. And here it is, the how to catch premise. It's so beautifully simple. You have a group of kids, they want to prove some magical creature is real, so what do? They build all these crazy, elaborate traps. Of course, the creature is always way too smart, the traps always scale spectacularly, and you get this wonderful, joyful chaos. It's just a perfect engine for telling a fun story. So, in this book, the whole thing kicks off with Comet. Yup, one of Santa's reindeer, deciding she's gonna go on a little solo flight. Right away, we see she's clever and independent, and it perfectly sets up this fun little cat and mouse, or kid and reindeer game for the rest of the book. Okay, now we get to the real heart of the book's appeal, and honestly, my favorite part, the traps. This is where all the creativity, the humor, and the incredible energy of this series really shine. So let's do a quick little tour of what I'm calling Trapology 101. This is where the kids' imaginations just go completely wild, and it's really the centerpiece of the whole reading experience. First up, we've got a classic lure. They set up a little stand offering free hot chocolate and free night vision goggles. You know, because that's exactly what every reindeer is looking for. The logic is just so wonderfully flawed, and that's the whole point. And you can tell from Comet's face, she is not buying it. All right, trap #1 was a bust. So what do the kids do? They escalate. They bring out the Christmas Catcher 2000, which is basically a machine that launches giant rolling Christmas ornaments. I mean, just look at the motion and energy in this picture. It practically jumps off the page. And for their grand finale, they build this really clever igloo baited with free reindeer moss. It actually looks pretty well designed, right? It's got a whole pulley system and everything. You can just see the kids hiding, thinking, okay, this is it. This is the one that's gonna work. And this is where the book's real magic comes to life. On the left, you've got the neat, perfect plan. And on the right, the result is absolute, glorious chaos. For a little kid reading this, that predictable failure is the best part. It's safe, it's super funny, and they get to feel like they're in on the joke. This description just nails it perfectly. The book is filled with silly rhymes and illustrations sure to delight with classic hilarity and chaos. That right there is the promise to its audience, kids from 4 to 10. You open this book, you're gonna get fun and you're gonna get laughter. But here's the really genius part, the secret ingredient. While kids are just giggling away at the mayhem, they're also being introduced to basic STEAM concepts. That's science, technology, engineering, art, and math. Every single one of those silly pulleys and levers is planting a tiny little seed of engineering and creative problem solving. So you've got this killer formula for one book, but how do you build a whole universe from it? Well, the key is making that successful idea repeatable. And they have absolutely mastered that. You can catch an elf, a snowman, a yeti, a gingerbread man, even a unicorn. The list just goes on and on. Each book takes that same awesome premise, but just swaps in a new, exciting creature. It keeps the whole thing feeling fresh while giving you that same fun experience you loved. And this right here really shows you the power of that formula. It's so strong and so beloved that it actually launched a totally successful spin-off series of graphic novels, Pup and Dragon. Now that's the sign that you've built a truly solid creative universe. Okay, so let's bring it all home. What are the key ingredients that make this series a modern classic for kids? what is the real secret to all this magic? It really boils down to this 5-step formula. 1, you start with a simple idea you can use again and again. 2, you write it with a fun rhythm that's great to read aloud. 3, you need that vibrant, detailed art that makes you want to explore every page. 4, a big, satisfying dose of hilarious chaos. And 5, you sneak in that secret educational value with the STEAM concepts. That's the blueprint. And in the end, the kids never actually catch the creature. Comet gets away, she rejoins Santa's sleigh, and they all fly off into the night. So yeah, the kids fail their mission, but the story ends with this powerful feeling of holiday magic and wonder, not disappointment. Which leaves us with one final thought. Sure, this formula is a huge commercial success, but its real magic comes from tapping into the joy of being creative, the fun of failing, and the simple wonder of believing in something. It makes you ask, what makes any children's story truly timeless? Maybe the secret ingredient is always just a perfect little dose of chaos. The link to this book is in the video description.